Hello, golfers. How can anyone ever know what a professional golfer's swing philosophy is? In other words, what his or her true beliefs about the golf swing are? Just find a lesson a pro has given and it's easy to tell. So, a must watch video for anyone wanting a peek into Tiger Woods' swing beliefs is the one by Golf Digest titled Tiger Woods Fixes Amateur Golf Swings. The first thing a viewer will notice is the amazing speed with which Tiger can make up his mind about what he does and does not like in a particular swing. It shows his in depth knowledge of modern golf swing theory. Some things that Tiger does like are left knee behind the ball and high hands at the top of the backswing for greater club speed. In the downswing, he likes the trail knee to point to target as the lead one moves away from the ball. To avoid an over the top movement, Tiger suggests trying to keep the trail shoulder back just as the hands fall so the arms can drop down vertically and not move so far forwards from the golfer that he gets casty, as Tiger describes it. At the same time, the golfer should allow the hips to start turning and have the left hip pulling back away from the target line. This, of course, for a right handed golfer. Tiger seems to believe that having the left hip rotating away from the target line is a very important movement, as he mentions it for three different people. He believes keeping the left ball and socket behind the lead foot can unleash a lot of power, and also says that it creates room for the arms to swing without using the hands and getting flippy, as he calls it. He even suggests this move for a very young boy who has early extension, saying that there's nothing wrong with the lead hip extending and coming up, but the lead side butt's gotta stay back a little bit. What is being said in the video is a perfect reflection of what is being commonly said in the golf industry, and it shows the alarming trend that has been used to disseminate information to leading golfers like Tiger Woods, sometimes to the detriment of their game. That trend has been, in recent years, to mix some science with some traditional wisdom. When a golfer is young and fit, he or she can have an expensive ask of the human body and make a variety of movements, with the only price paid being inconsistency of performance. And that is something most golfers are conditioned to shrug off and believe is just golf. Given Tiger's injury history, it is very important for him to work with an experienced golf instructor who has both the practical experience and, more importantly, a strong academic and research background that can help to understand the science behind both performance and injury. It is ironic that two movements Tiger is keen on are at locations where he has had injury, that is, his lead knee and his low back. Pulling the lead knee away from the ball during the downswing was apparently taught to him by one of his coaches and probably exacerbated his left knee issues. There are many movements and loads that can exacerbate lead knee ACL injury. One movement is internal rotation of the lead knee, which is seen in the downswing or the follow through. In this illustration from one research study, the movement of the lead knee from the top to finish is indicated by yellow, orange, and red lines. Another movement is pointing the lead knee behind the ball in the backswing, creating a valgus position, and the opposite, which then happens when moving that knee towards target, called a varus position. Incidentally, one research paper mentions the combination of a valgus position plus extension torque plus a pressure shift onto that leg with deceleration plus foot fixed to the ground plus trunk movement towards that knee as a cause for ACL injury. Sound like a familiar move for golfers? As to Tiger's lumbar spine issues, we know that he believes in firing the glutes because he once said after a fog delay, "My glutes are shutting off," and added that they never stay activated. and whether he believes he is pulling his lead hip away from the target line or his trail hip towards the target line. Most downswing pelvic rotation takes place by trail gluteus maximus firing. How do we know this? Firstly, because it is the strongest muscle in the body. Secondly, because the lead side rotation requires the lead gluteus medius to fire, which in turn requires the pressure to be almost fully through the lead foot, which happens very late in the downswing. And how do we know when which muscles fire? We do not know specifically in Tiger's case, but in general, my electromyography research on golfers with and without back pain using a traditional swing shows these patterns. Have a look at this screenshot of rectified EMG for, from top to bottom, the trail external oblique muscle, the trail gluteus maximus, the trail paraspinals at the L5 low back region, and the lead gluteus medius. The green vertical lines indicate address, top, almost impact, and finish. Even without any numbers to indicate actual millivolts, a mere visual inspection can indicate comparative phases and magnitude of muscle activation. The EMG is that of a low handicap golfer with trail side low back pain who also believes, like Tiger, that he pulls his lead hip back. His trail side glute max fires first and more forcefully, while his lead side glute medius fires much later, after impact in fact, and much less. Also note that his glute max fires when his pressure is as far back as he ever has it, which is just before the top of his backswing. The swing that I have developed based on over 28 years of painstaking research uses less trail side gluteus maximus firing along with, earlier in the downswing but not excessive, lead gluteus medius and minimus firing for less low back nerve compression, especially of the trail side. Also, the lead knee does not move through excessive ranges of motion and has less loads placed on it in all directions, as seen from my doctoral research. Golfers, please realize that the typical golf swing with all of its excess torso motion cannot be consistent, especially under pressure, and can, over time, be rather injurious. There are always swing options for you to consider.